Our next panel is also going to be pretty fun. We're going to be talking about the rise of comics and superheroes in NFT. So please welcome Agnes, Nick, Gareb, and Sharad.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We've got a really exciting panel scheduled for you here. Thanks to Buddy getting you kicked off on the comic book side of things. We're all here trying to work on creating characters and superheroes and comics in the NFT world. And it's really exciting to see everyone here to be able to participate in this. We definitely think that storytelling is going to be the next future of how NFTs evolve. So it's really great that we have this panel here. So to get us started, we'd love to just introduce our panelists and the projects that they're working on, and then we'll just keep asking questions. Agnes, you want to start us off? Just give us like 2 quick hits on why everyone should know you, and then a little bit about your project.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Agnes Garbowska. I've been in comic books for about 17 or so years. I've worked for DC on DC Superhero Girls, Teen Titans Go. I've worked on My Little Pony, Care Bears. There's a good chance if it's a licensed property, I most likely worked on in comics. So I'm really, really happy about that because it means I have a lot of experience. And now, working in NFTs, I have my project Digidoorables, which I'm taking everything I know about comic books, and now I'm sharing it with the community, with community-based storytelling. So we're creating the funnest stories with the cutest llamas, and it's all being published under Comic Voxels, which is basically a publishing house for all things comics and storytelling, so it's super awesome.
Amazing. Thank you. Nick, what are you up to?
Hey, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Nick Frontera. I am the founder and CEO of Apollo Entertainment. We are a metaverse consulting and production studio that's been operating in the Web3 space since 2017. In 2020, we got to work with legendary 88-year-old comic book artist Jose Delbo to release the first ever comic book NFT on the blockchain. Since then, we've worked with top creators and artists in the space to release art NFTs on the blockchain on various different platforms, including Maker's Place, Nifty Gateway, Super Rare. We've done a ton of consulting with all those artists, and now we're working on our flagship project, which is called the Satoshi Verse. The Satoshi Verse is a blockchain superhero universe that has a 3D avatar collection, a play and earn game, and various digital collectibles, where we're really trying to redefine the way superhero storytelling is done on the blockchain through gamification and different metaverse experiences.
Oh, cool. Thank you. My name is Gareb, Shamus, and I've been in the superhero business my entire life, first as a kid growing up collecting comic books, and then starting Wizard magazine. So for anybody that's been in the comic world, we've done that. And then by the mid-'90s, it became so large that I started something called Comic-Con. We had a party for the magazine and all of our fans, and it just took off worldwide. I've run 180 Comic-Cons, reached billions of people around the world, and had a huge impact on fan culture. And I just started this company, Hero Maker Studios, with my co-founder Scott Donnell, and it's everything about the hero's journey. And it's not just about Spider-Man's journey, which we're all used to, but it's how we become the heroes of our own journey. And that's what Hero Maker's about. We started our first launch. We just dropped our first NFT. We minted out on Friday last week, so we went right into the heart of this world, and luckily we had a 9600 project, and it sold through, and it's called Kumite, and it's an epic battle between heroes and villains. And the biggest part of it is that we've been doing world building. We spent over a year on the storytelling side of it, and we wanted to make it so that everybody has a way to see and feel and experience what this world looks like. And now all of a sudden there's 9,600 characters that all of our NFT holders have, and we're working with them to make sure that they contribute to this universe. So as opposed to us telling stories for the next 50 years, we want to engage our fans and our community to build out this story into a very large worldwide property. So really excited to be here. Next we have
I'm Sharad. First off, congrats, Gareb. That's an amazing
Thank
success
you,
for your
yeah.
launch. And just to give you some context, similar to Gareb, I've been in this business since I was 20. Superheroes have been my passion. For me, great superheroes are more than capes, masks, and tights. They're the modern mythologies of our world. Really connecting us as storytellers today. So I got my start bringing Marvel out to the Asian markets and reinventing Spider-Man as an Indian boy growing up in Mumbai, doing all kinds of fun stuff like that, and then have been really focused on creating superheroes that bridge the world and superheroes that speak to an international audience. So one of the projects, I run two companies, Graphic India, which is one of the largest animation and comic companies out in the Indian market, and a company called Liquid Comics here in the US, which works with great high-profile creators to just create great stories. But in this world, we started looking at the opportunity to, one, connect global audiences and really connect global storytelling. We launched our first collection called Verse, which was based on our superhero Chakra the Invincible, as one of the first Indian superheroes to come into the metaverse. We sold out the collection in 51 seconds, but the unique part about that was that we brought in 14 countries and the largest audience from India ever to buy NFTs for the first time and connect with a global audience in that way. So, building a very different type of community that we're trying to do with that project, and we partnered with a great group, Orange Comet, on that. We just announced 2 weeks ago another project I was fortunate to co-found with Mila Kunis, who's been an OG in the space with Stoner Cats and with Gimmicks. We've launched a company called Armored Kingdom, released the comic books, and digital comics are out, armoredkingdom.com, but it's a big TCG card game we're developing now, again, targeting a global market, building we're both passionate World of Warcraft, Magic the Gathering, LOTR fans, so really trying to connect universe building in that way, and we're having a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. While you're talking, can you explain or share with us what Web3 is enabling for you that you weren't able to do in the comic book world prior?
So I'm sure you've had this experience, but so on a very simple level, I look at the opportunity of when I buy a comic book, and my house is filled, unfortunately, with physical comic books, but I can take those comics, I can go to a convention, I can sell them, they are mine. But if I buy something on my Kindle, at the end of the day, I can't trade it with Gareb. I can't do anything with it. It is there on Kindle in my account, and I'm paying this money for it. I don't really own it. So we believe that the future of just anything that is a digital collectible, this concept is very simple to understand. How do you create that same experience, right? And then when we go to other areas, especially with a TCG card game, you can think about all of the opportunities there to know, for example, if that sword in the game, you can trace it all the way back to every person, every battle it ever fought, every person it ever fought. So here may be a sword that was actually a very weak sword by the numbers, but became a god killer by the skill. And so the value of that sword may change instrumentally. So we love the idea of just what the blockchain enables people to do in terms of just real ownership of that. Community is a whole other level, of course, as we think about it there. But I think Web3 at the purest level, for people who are in the collectibles business and love owning those collectibles, I think unlocks incredible value.
Absolutely. There's no question that that's such a big part of it. And also the way we think about it as well is that we know unlike other types of collectibles, because you have a wallet, we know who you are. We may not know your name, but we know who you are. We know that you're part of our community, and it's a great way to engage. And it's also something like what we're doing, what we call like mass customization, right? I've produced so many collectible programs in my life, hundreds of this, thousands of that, limited editions, but they're all the same. By the fact, though, that we have a generative project, we know exactly what your character looks like, and we could deliver to you something that's very uniquely to you that can build out your collection. So that's one thing that we can do. The second thing is what I was talking about earlier, which is the idea that when this is your character, my entire life, I've seen the big franchises out there tell fans, you can't do this, you can't do that. And now, for the first time, it's your character. And obviously, there's derivative rights, and there's all kinds of legal mumbo jumbo that we won't get into here. But basically, we want to encourage the audiences and the fans and the NFT holders to actually build upon this universe. And we want to encourage that. And the more the fans do that, and the more we can share it with other fans, the bigger the whole world can get. And because everybody's part of that community through the NFTs, everybody benefits from everybody else's contribution. So it's a great way to encourage people to just keep contributing in a very positive way.
Yeah, I mean, both of you made such excellent points on the role that NFTs can play in terms of engaging with your community and the customization aspect. I think that's something that a lot of projects are working on and doing in different ways. I think for us, one of the really unique intersections is the capabilities that NFTs bring in the gaming space and the ability to tell stories in a gamified way. I think you've seen engines like Unreal Engine and Unity become so powerful from a content creation standpoint. And so when you're able to take that and do some really great art in those platforms, but then have these engagement layers and have these connection layers to create unique experiences and different storytelling from the user perspective, I think we're going to be able to take comic storytelling to a next level that really hasn't been present before, where you can really immerse your community in a way that is just so much more engaging than flipping through pages, reading the story. And this is coming from someone who, my grandfather was a comic artist, and I spent my entire life around comics, and I loved reading comics. But being a gamer, seeing how we can connect with our community through the game and tell these stories and help them tell their own stories and be part of this broader, blockchain-based, movement that we're having through comics, I think is what excites me and gets me going every morning.
Very cool. Agnes?
Yeah, speaking from a creator standpoint, it is creative freedom and creative control over your own properties. It's not bound by limitations. You just use your imagination. You can come up with just about anything. You work with a team. You work with a community. You could get new ideas that weren't available before. And I really love the aspect of Web3 is you could take the traditional aspect of storytelling and comics, but you could also turn it on its head. You could do just about anything. Just think of it, find the right people, and you could do it together. And I really love that concept. There's a lot of sharing and community. And as a creator, I just love the fact that I can control my own properties and I could share those creations with others.
Agnes, can you tell us a little bit more about the future of your project?
Yeah,
What to look forward to?
for it to go on for a very, very long time. With Digidorables, the Llamas, it's only the first chapter and is one way for me to tell stories with the community. And I love it because I'm not just like, here's a comic book. I'm like, well, this is how we put this comic together. This is why this works, that doesn't. And I take you along every single step of the way. So if in the future you want to tell your own stories, you want to tell your own comics, I hope that the experience of telling the story with me, you're able to go off and do your own amazing, cool thing. And this is just the first chapter for me. There's so many different ways to tell stories, and now I have a chance to experiment with that. So after chapter 1, of course, it's going to be chapter 2 and even more. So I'm really, really excited. I'm just a storyteller. So as long as I can tell stories, I'm happy.
Amazing. Nick, what's in the future for you?
Yeah, so we are working, round the clock. Our biggest thing that we're working on right now is the play-to-earn game. We have that scheduled for alpha release on at the end of this year, and so we're really excited about that because we're hoping that it's going to really show that play-to-earn games and blockchain gaming can be fun in addition to giving people ways of earning and doing the things that really have been present in the gaming industry for the last 20 years, just doing it in a more decentralized manner and enabling community participation in that. We have an avatar collection that's going to be a reward collection called 8mo Army coming in the next couple months, where we've kind of changed themes and incorporated this whole fantastical idea of, half human, half animal superheroes coming into the Satoshi Verse. And the other thing I'm excited about, as you might be able to tell from the name Satoshi Verse, is that this is a really good opportunity for us to onboard people into the blockchain space, to talk about some of the themes present within the blockchain space, to teach some of the lessons that blockchain teaches about corruption and, all the different reasons why I think a lot of us support blockchain projects and Bitcoin and whatnot are very heavy themes within the storytelling element of our project. So, we're really excited to continue to develop that lore and onboard comic, creators and different people and help them see why, blockchain is a necessary and revolutionary technology within the industry.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So with Kumite, the future is really limitless. I mean, I've been in this, seen almost every single comic book IP turn into a film or television or video game, and we're going to be following a very similar path right off the bat. Right now we're going to be starting our our big epic battle called the Vortex, and that's going to be starting in a month. So just after the drop, they're all available on OpenSea now. People are picking up whether they're a steampunk or whether they're an angel, a demon, a superhero, a cosmic villain. We have 24 different families, and everybody's vying to see which family they want to be a part of. And then all these families are going to battle it out in this Vortex tournament. And then straight after the tournament, and we don't even know who's going to win because it's ultimately going to be community voted, we go straight into doing a comic book where now the results of the tournament is where the comic book starts. So that's like so exciting for us that we can't predetermine, how the fans are going to vote on this. And then so we're going to set up the comic books in such a way that we can start showing people how the type of stories that they can tell. And yes, we're working on gaming, and all the characters go into what's called training mode. So rather than being very passive about what they could do, whether it's staking or nesting, we want to put people into training mode, and we're going to work on building a PvP versus like a sparring engine for people, and working on trading card games, ultimately video games, and we're already talking about film and television projects. So we're building out the entire ecosystem. So we want people that when they're a part of the Kumite community, that they know that we're going to be with them every step of the way, and that there's also not going to be this downtime. I think a lot of projects, once they launch, it's like, well, we now have to wait for the next thing to come out. And for us, it's like we just don't want any type of downtime. And a lot of that starts because we started with the story. And storytelling is such a critical element that when you look at the characters that we created, you just know that there's a story behind them. And we want to tell some stories, but more importantly, we want you to tell the stories.
I think that you all touched upon such great things. The future of storytelling is really kind of with these new technologies that are emerging right now. So I think both of you have touched upon that, all of you have, and really how do we use these tools, which I think are very nascent right now. When we talk about what I think is the long-term roadmap over the next decade of how these technologies are going to build that quote-unquote metaverse, a lot of it is still very amorphous. But what we do know is that it's going to take a lot of comfort with ambiguity, creative risk-taking, a lot of amazing ways to look at it in a way where the tools are not gimmicky, but they're enhancing the storytelling. When we saw a lot of things happening with the app phase of comics and, kind of that emergence, we saw a lot of things that were just very gimmicky. And the gimmicks run out very quick. They become just annoying, right? But I think with these tools, you really create things that I feel can become beyond the gimmick, enhance actually how you're thinking of story, community, engagement, and hopefully create new storytelling experiences, which is really what we're all about here. I definitely feel, similar to all our projects, Armored Kingdom, obviously, Mila Kunis is a producer and someone who's been in the traditional film world. So our goal with that is obviously looking at a property that does go into many different traditional entertainment platforms, but also looking at how we develop, build, launch from the digital comic and the NFT comic that's out right now, all the way out to the TCG game, which is going to be coming out in phase 2, and look at all these pieces, building a deeper connection with the universe. And, that's what it's all really about, getting you into that zone. But yeah, I think metaverse would be good to talk about too, and where we all think the metaverse is going, sort of what's the 10-year play as we kind of go down that rabbit hole. I'd love for everyone.
So while we're on that, would you be able to tell us like what you're most excited about, and then also where people can connect with you, whether it's social or what? Yeah, and then we're going to...
Thank you so much. So what I'm most excited about is I think the next phase of what we're seeing with the NFT ecosystem is the global NFT ecosystem. So it is about connecting what we have built here with this kind of global fandom that is starting to emerge right now, certainly which I see in markets like India and other places where I am. But also I think it's the accessibility of the picks and shovels now, where someone who doesn't even know how to operate MetaMask can come in very seamlessly now, not even know they're really in an NFT game, but really just have a great experience. I think that's the next phase. So there's a huge amount of people coming in here domestically, but really globally. And so that's what I'm most excited about. I would say go to armoredkingdom.com, just to check out the new project that we're working on. But everything about me can be found at Graphic India, all our Twitter, social, everything else right there.
Amazing. The thing that excites me the most is that I've been involved in the birth of industries before, and it's so palpable to know that we are at the birth of what is absolutely the future in this space. And almost everything you do right now will and could potentially have a massive impact in the future. And the way I look at it is there's no such thing as competition right now. Everybody should be collaborating. Everybody should be working together. There's nobody that we haven't spoken to that was like, let's just figure out how we could work together or collaborate or share audiences. And I think you have to have that kind of open mentality. When I started Comic-Con, it's like we just had to have everybody in the same room. It didn't care what they did, who they were, what they looked like. It was important to just be together and just work together because the whole world doesn't know what this is all about, and we're going to be the ones to make that happen. And I think that Kumite is going to be the first property, at least from our company, that's going to show people like this incredible way for them to get involved and to participate. So in order to connect with us, we're on Twitter is a great place, Kumite NFT. On Discord is a great way to follow us. You could follow me on Twitter at Gareb. So luckily I got on Twitter early enough to get my name, Gareb. And I'm on Instagram, so I show a lot of pictures there too. So yeah, but please follow us and follow everybody on the stage as well. Nick, why don't you give us what you're excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. Similar to Gareb, I think one of the things that excites me the most is just the ability for co-creation in this space. We've been collaborating since we've been in this space. We just released our first, the first linked wearables collection in Decentraland, so that was a major collaboration that we had been working on. And the metaverse really provides that opportunity for people to come together, create together, to really create something greater than we could each individually create, because there's so many resources, so much talent that can be combined in a community that's very supportive of collaboration, which I think makes this space entirely unique from other communities. In terms of following us, we're on the internet. Our website is satoshiverse.io. You can follow us on Twitter at SatoshiVerse_IO. I also got on Twitter in the metaverse space early, so you can follow me personally at Metaverse NFT, all one word. And yeah, we'd love to engage with you, join our Discord, and see what the Satoshi Verse is about.
Yay! I just want to say, first of all, I'm very honored to be on this panel with all these amazing storytellers and creators, because this is what I'm excited for the future. It's people coming up with ideas, using the tools, and seeing how all these tools are going to evolve. And like I mentioned before, the creative freedom that we all have now, pretty easy to find. It's just my name, which is hard to spell, but Agnes Garbowska on just about anything. You could also look for Digidurables and Comic Boxels, and Comic Boxels does have an awesome Discord. We chill there, we talk comics, we talk about food. It's all amazing stuff, so I really hope you follow everyone here and myself, Agnes Garbowska, and yeah, I'm just really excited for what we're building here. Just way excited.
Oh, cool. Agnes, so we've got 2 minutes left, 30 seconds for each of us, just our last words.
Hi guys, thanks for coming, you're all amazing.
Yeah, guys, I know that these sorts of conferences can be a gauntlet sometimes, so thank you for showing up. There's such a great crowd here, and everyone seems so engaged, everyone I've met. So thank you, and I'm happy to talk to any of you who want to talk after the panel.
Yeah, we also I just want to thank everybody for showing up. The panelists, you guys have been amazing. I think we've been able to share a lot of information. Obviously, you could see that there's an incredible enthusiasm here. And when everybody comes together, I think everybody feels that. They feel that energy of how everybody is capable and everybody wants to work together. So it really is exciting to be on this stage. I'm so excited to be able to share Kumite with the world. It's something that I've been very passionate about and been working on with me and the whole team for a year now. And it's just extraordinary to be able to share that with the world. So thank you again for coming here and sharing this experience with all of us.
Yeah, I'm also super grateful to be here with all of you. Similar to Agnes, very honored to be here with everyone. But also super grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here. Anyone wants to talk anything about superheroes, I'll be here after as well. I love to talk about what are the new superheroes for the world that we should be creating. So thank you.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.